Good evening, YouTubers. So I looked up the Good Health #8 skillet 658 or whatever it is on the internet, and somebody's selling a used one restored for 125 bucks. How many do you want, buddy? Yeah. And my favorite frying pans are and cast irons, the stuff that came out of Griswold Foundry in Erie, PA. And these are comparable quality. In fact, the last #28 Grizzlies I had, a friend asked me, "You got an extra frying pan for my daughter?" And I said, "Yeah, no problem." So I gave it to her, and then a few months later, she breaks up with her boyfriend, and he kept, smart guy, he kept the frying pan, and she asked me for another one, and I just happened to have one. But this is the current one I'm using, and this is the one that was out on the fire today. And I scraped it outside with several wire brushes, because if you scrape it inside the sink here, then you get those wire brush hairs all over your sink, and they're a bitch to pick up. Well, what I do, obviously this is how clean I got it, with just a wire brush after it came out of the fire. And you go over it with a little scraper. I don't know what that white stuff is. I mean, you may not get all the parts off it, but you know, the rest of it should scrape off. And if you rub it like that, you can see you're down, once you burn it in the fire, you're down to the iron dust. And this one's got a few little defects in it. You see these big pits. That's what happens when a chunk of sand falls into the mold and gets pushed down there. And the tools I'm going to be using today: beat up sharpening stones, a rat tail file, another scraper, and a couple flat files. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is rinse all this rough stuff here with a metal scrubby. And I got all my regular dish stuff out of there, because I don't want rust stains in my regular dishwashing tools, and then soaked in the dishcloth. So this is the process after it cooks in your outdoor fire. And when I'm done, it'll look like it just came out of the foundry line and cooled off, because it'll be pretty much clean gray iron. And some of the history, I guess the Good skillet was made in Ohio, and the Erie Griswold Foundry was sold in 1958, so any of those pans are almost older than me. And the little information I gleaned off the internet said Griswold, you know, most of these foundries made their pans under different brand names too, to sell for stores or whatever. Yeah, you can see all that rusty coat. I think I'll do that underwater and keep the rust there. I don't think this one was used much, because that edge is still pretty clean and sharp around there. And these pans, I mean, I can wash this up, clean it up, and use it. It's good to go through several generations of cooks. I like to think when I'm using a pan, I wonder what kind of great recipes were made in it before me and by who. But that's probably a mystery. The ones with the spouts on the side here are nice for pouring grease out of. So you want to get all the rusty color off. And you know, the older the pans are, the smoother they are from all the metal scrapers that were used on them. And what I like nice about these old ones, they're made so well, the bottom's generally completely flat. Where this Chinese pan, I call it Big Red, it's got a high spot in the middle. The grease goes to the edges if the pan bottom isn't perfectly flat. Yeah, this is the one that I had before, and I used it and I liked it. So, and I saw another one come on the market. Yeah, I mean, if you look at some of the edges around here, they're a little bit more worn than this one. I don't know if it shows up on the camera. That's coconut oil sitting in there. All right, that's the majority of it. Then the next thing I do, I inspect for where they, sometimes, this is probably where they poured the iron into the mold. A lot of times I'll make that, if it looks a little rough, I'll make it a little smoother here before I go to season it up. And a rat tail file is good if you got any metal flash on the inside of the hole here. I just think it makes for a prettier pan. Nice smooth edges all over. Yeah, there's a whole lot of cast iron cooking videos, and Shovelhead 8, post a lot of cast iron Wednesday videos. There's a whole group of people that cook and are into cast iron pans versus the Teflon that you got to replace every few years. Yeah, see, there's a little bit of a ridge there. you want to get a little bit smoother, you can take your sharpening stone and just kind of just how obsessive compulsive are you? All right, I'm happy with that. And obviously I got iron on my, I'll be absorbing some iron in my system from this. Dump that dirty water down there and get some fresh water in here. I used to use Joy detergent all the time until I tried this Walmart version of Dawn. It's better than the Joy that I've used for years. You can tell your soap has got that rust color in it. You're not going to get it all off, but I just wanted to get the majority of it off. Get a nice clean surface for the coconut oil to stick to it. And when you cook on iron and cast iron, some of that iron gets in your food, so that's actually a benefit for your red blood cells to pick up some oxygen. I am Iron Man. There's several schools of thought on seasoning. Most of them recommend coconut oil and bake it in the oven. It seems that didn't really work all that good for me. I'm of the opinion that just start oiling it up good with coconut oil. Yeah, look at all that iron that picked up. But I mean, that is soup. That's as clean as you can want to get it. So next we'll go to the seasoning. Heat on. Let me see if I'm in focus here. Yeah, that's good. I got the sky cam going here in the kitchen. The oil will rub out the rest of that. Heat back on. Put a generous gob in there. What happens in the kitchen stays in the kitchen. I just cleaned that stove the other day. Son of a gun. Okay, shut the heat off. And I put it on the bottom too. Now I'm going to turn the heat up on high. And when it starts smoking, I'm just going to shut the heat off and let it cool down on there. That should be good to go. Well, I got this oily rag here. I'll go over the bottoms of these Griswolds here, because obviously the bottom's super hot, and I'm not going to do that now. But after it cools down, I'll wipe it and let the coconut oil soak into the pores. All right, that gets shut off. Same way with this other one. And the secret, when you go to wash these, just use water with no soap in it. You know, you can just wipe out as much as you can, and then if there's something stuck, use your scraper or your your scrubby pad. God bless the tubers. Man, I'm gonna get grease on my phone. I gotta watch that. Come on, shut off there.